All right, guys. Good Wednesday morning. Hope everybody is doing well on this Wednesday morning. And as you can see, the Storm Prediction Center has placed a good portion of Mississippi basically along the Highway 82 corridor and points off to the northwest under a moderate risk. Yes, a moderate risk of severe storms this afternoon and this evening. And this does include the Oxford, Mississippi area. This also includes the areas right there in and around Greenwood, Greenville, and then getting up there into the Hernando and Tunica, Mississippi area. And this has the potential to be a pretty significant day there in northwestern and northern Mississippi. So once again, there of course is your severe weather risk. That is a moderate risk. That is in the red shaded area. That is an enhanced risk. That is in the orange shaded area, and then a slight risk goes all the way down to the coast of Mississippi. So once again, as you can see, all of the state of Mississippi is underneath some sort of severe weather risk into the afternoon, evening, and unfortunately into the overnight hours over into Mississippi. Now let's start up across the north up there, across all of the mid south, and as you can see, it includes the areas of Jonesboro, Arkansas, Dyersburg, Tennessee, Jackson, Tennessee, the entire Memphis metro area, South Haven, Mississippi, Hernando, Mississippi, and Oxford, Mississippi as well. And this is for all of the Mid South. And it basically, if you are from the cities of Aberdeen and Amory, Mississippi, northwest to the Memphis metro area, your threat is going to be this afternoon through midnight tonight. And then after midnight, it will be out of the Mid South region. And as you can see, the wind threat is increasing, is approaching the high level. The hail is a medium threat. And of course, the tornado threat is at a high as well. And then a lower threat is going to be the flooding level. So make sure that you stay weather aware and have multiple ways to receive warnings. And once again, this does include the Oxford, Mississippi area, and it includes the campus of Mississippi University, aka Ole Miss. All right, so here is your time threat for the areas up there in the Mid South, and then we're going to switch off to the South and talk about the Jackson area down there. But I wanted to start up here in the moderate risk area, and once again, there, of course, is your large view, basically from the areas of Biloxi and Gulfport all the way up to Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee, all of the state of Mississippi is under some kind of risk for severe weather this afternoon and this evening. Now, here are your time threats. Basically, if you are west of the Mississippi River over into the Jonesboro, Arkansas area, down to the Forest City, Arkansas area, you guys are going to say the time threat between 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. If you were along the areas of Dyersburg, Tennessee, all the way down to the Memphis metro area, South Haven, basically Holly Springs, Hernando, Senatobia, Clarksdale, Tunica, and Oxford. Your time is from 3 until 8 p.m., and then it moves on off towards the Corinth, Tupelo, and Aberdeen, Mississippi areas between 5 p.m. and midnight tonight. And then, thank goodness, this active weather after midnight should be moving out of the Mid South area. And hopefully, as of right now, the severe weather risk will be over for the Oxford, Mississippi area by the time we get into 8 p.m., the 8 to 9 p.m. time frame this evening. And so that is the area of concern right there in and around the Oxford, Mississippi area. And if you were in the Oxford, Mississippi area, you guys are in the moderate risk area for the potential of high winds, hail, and a couple of tornadoes. And some of those tornadoes could be a strong tornado, meaning an EF2 or greater. And so we're really going to have to watch you guys that are up here in the red shaded area, basically from the Little Rock, Arkansas area all the way over to just off to the northwest of the Tupelo, Mississippi area. And once again, if you're watching in Oxford, if you're watching in Clarksdale, Tunica, downtown Memphis, Holly Springs, if you're watching in Olive Branch, if you're watching in South Haven, and if you're watching in the Memphis metro area, your threat is between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. And then it shifts over into the Tupelo area, the Aberdeen and Amory, Mississippi area, and the Corinth area, 5 p.m. until midnight tonight. Now let's go a little bit further off to the south and check on the Delta of Mississippi, Central Mississippi, and Eastern Mississippi. And of course, we cannot leave out the people down there in the Pine Belt area of Mississippi. Now, if you were on the western extent of the Highway 82 corridor, that includes the areas of Winona, Mississippi, Greenwood, Greenville, you guys are in the moderate risk. If you were in the eastern portions of Highway 82, Madison, Eupora, Starkville, and Columbus, you guys are in the enhanced risk area. And so pretty much all of Mississippi is now either in the moderate or the enhanced risk, basically from Purvis, Mississippi, all the way up to the Memphis metro area are under a significant risk for severe storms this afternoon and this evening and into the overnight hours. Now, if you are in the Delta of Mississippi, including Cleveland, Greenville, Greenwood, if you are in any of those areas or Yazoo City, you guys could see damaging winds upwards of 80 miles per hour, hail up to golf ball size, and tornadoes likely with some possibly strong. And strong tornadoes mean the long track EF2, EF3, EF4, and EF5s. So some strong tornadoes are likely across the northwestern portions of the Delta of Mississippi. Now, if you are in the orange shaded area for Eupora, Columbus, Starkville, Philadelphia, Vicksburg, Jackson, Brookhaven, Natchez, McGee, Laurel, Hattiesburg, Meridian, or Philadelphia, you guys are in the enhanced risk for damaging winds upwards of 70, large hail up to golf ball size, and tornadoes are likely. So that is the area of concern right now in Mississippi. Now let's go over the timing. If you guys are in this area over here between Vicksburg up to Greenwood, that includes the areas of Cleveland, Mississippi, Cleveland, Greenville, Vicksburg, and Natchez along the Mississippi River. Your threat is between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. All right, and so after 9 p.m., it should be ending for your area along the Delta. If you are along the I-55 corridor, Macomb, Brookhaven, Jackson, Yazoo City, Greenwood, Eupora, Kosciuszko, and the Jackson, Mississippi metro area, your threat is from 4 until 11 p.m. And then after 11 p.m. to midnight, it is going to be ending for your area. And then in East Mississippi, for the areas of Starkville, West Point, Columbus, Philadelphia, Meridian, Laurel, Hattiesburg, Forest, Newton, Mississippi, and McGee, your threat is going to be 6 p.m. this evening until 1 a.m. in the morning. And then after about 1 to 2 a.m. in the morning, it is going to shift off over into the state of Alabama. So if you are in the Delta of Mississippi, your threat will end around 10 o'clock this evening, 9 to 10 o'clock. If you were along the I-55 corridor, including Jackson, Yazoo City, Greenwood, Eupora, Kosciuszko, and Winona, your threat is going to end probably around midnight tonight. And then, of course, over here in East Mississippi, your threat will end around 1 to 2 a.m. Now, the start time for the Delta is as early as 2 p.m. this afternoon. For central Mississippi along the I-55 corridor, as early as 4 p.m. this afternoon, which could impact the afternoon commute. We'll just have to see how things play out. And then over in eastern and southeastern Mississippi, your time threat is going to be starting as early as 6 p.m. this evening and into the pre-dawn hours in the morning. So that is what is going on over in Mississippi. But I do want to also caution you on the big picture that regardless of where you are in the state of Mississippi, regardless if you were in any county, you have the potential to see some wind damage, a couple of tornadoes, and large hail this afternoon, this evening, and into the overnight hours. And especially if you were up here in the red shaded area, basically from, I would say, Winona, Mississippi to the Tupelo, Mississippi area and points off towards the northwest, all the way back up here to the Little Rock, Arkansas metro area. Anywhere within this red shaded area, you guys could see a couple of strong tornadoes, and that's meaning EF2 or greater tornadoes, and they could be long track tornadoes as well, because the ingredients are coming together across the northwestern portions of Mississippi for a potential for the greatest severe weather risk, and that's going to be basically, like I said, from Winona, Mississippi, all the way to just northwest of the Tupelo, Mississippi area and points off towards the northwest. So you really need to pay attention to the weather conditions after around 3 p.m. or so around Clarksdale, Tunica, Memphis, Holly Springs, Oxford, Mississippi, South Haven, South Haven, Olive Branch, and then Hernando, because this is going to be the area of concern that is going to see the possibility of a couple of strong tornadoes. And it says right here in the moderate risk tornadoes, a few tornadoes may be strong, which is EF2 or greater. All right, so that is the area of concern, and the greatest severe weather risk, once again, is going to be across the northwestern portions of Mississippi as we get into the afternoon, evening, and into the overnight hours. And once again, I do want to remind you guys to stay weather aware and have multiple ways to receive warnings in the entire Mid-South region until midnight tonight. So that is the area of concern. And once again, there is your time frames that are coming through the exact areas. And again, I will show you the time frame for the areas in central and eastern Mississippi, as well as the Delta of Mississippi. And of course, there you can see the threat levels and the moderate risk and the enhanced risk as we go into the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours tonight. So, guys, hope that y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. As always, And any time that there's going to be severe weather here, I will be providing severe weather coverage for you guys in the event that we do have severe weather in the area. What the? Oh, had to make sure you guys could see it. I'm sorry. Okay, so once again, there is your time frame. There for the Mississippi and the Jackson, Mississippi area. Warning DMA area, basically from Hamburg, Arkansas, all the way down to Bastrop, Louisiana, Waynesboro, Louisiana, and then back into Natchez as well. And once again, here is your threat level and threat timing up here in the Memphis metro area and the Mid South area as we move basically from 1 p.m. this afternoon into midnight tonight. So, guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will always be here providing some other coverage in the event that we do have a couple of tornado warnings later today and tonight. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, God bless. Good morning, friends in Alabama. Hope everybody is doing well on this Wednesday morning as we start out the day here on April the 13th. And guys, we have a pretty active weather situation that is going to unfold a little bit later on this afternoon and this evening and into the overnight hours for the people in Mississippi and, of course, the great state of Alabama. And so this is the area of concern. Give me just a second to make sure that I say share this where it needs to be shared. because we currently have a lot to talk about. And as you can see, we got a enhanced risk that is across the northwestern and the western portions of Alabama. We've also got a slight risk that includes a good portion of central Alabama, and then a marginal risk that includes the areas down there in southeast Alabama. And so this is going to be a threat, and especially it's going to be, unfortunately, in the overnight hours as we get into the. So once again, that is the area of concern. Is going to be the biggest threat is going to be across northwest Alabama. And so here, of course, is your time threat. If you were in the Tennessee Valley, basically, if you are in northwest Alabama, and that's going to be the Florence and Russellville, Alabama area, that is going to be between 8 p.m. and 12 a.m. in northwest Alabama. This is an enhanced risk of severe storm, and this is going to be for all North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee. Damaging winds, lightning, and a few tornadoes. Now, if you were in the Huntsville area, down to Coleman, Hartselle, Athens, and Decatur, your threat is going to be between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And then northeast Alabama is going to be midnight until 4 a.m. And that includes Guntersville, Scottsboro, and Lanesville, Alabama. Now let's move a little bit further off to the south and talk about our friends down here in the Hamilton area, also near Fayette, Lamar County, Marion County, Walker, northwestern Winston County, northeastern, basically the northwestern half of Pickens County, and far northern Sumter County. You guys are in the enhanced risk, the orange for tornadoes, damaging winds upwards of 70 and quarter size hail. Now, if you were in the Tuscaloosa metro area, that also includes the areas in and around the Poker, Elrod, Buell, Foster, Ralph, Romulus. This also includes the areas of Cottondale, Brookwood, Samantha, places like Taylorville, Moundville, Demopolis, Birmingham, Gadsden, Clanton, Selma, and places in and around those areas. You guys can see tornadoes possible, damaging winds upwards of 60 and quarter sized hail. And then, of course, down there, where there is the marginal risk in the green shaded area, basically from Anderson to Alexander City to Montgomery to Auburn to Troy down to Eufaula. You have a threat mentioned above, but they are less likely and cannot be lost. So that is the area of concern. Now, for northwest Alabama, that includes the areas of Bordeaux, Reform, Fayette, Lamar, Marion counties, Hamilton, places like Cordova and Fayette, Berry, and then places like I would say Morse Bridge and Samantha. Your time is going to be between 8 p.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning. Now, if you were in the Tuscaloosa metro area, if you were in Demopolis, if you were down there in Utah, if you were in Moundville, Greensboro, Taylorville, if you were down there in Duncanville, if you were in Sprott, Fawnsdale, if you guys are down there in Centerville, Brent, Marengo County, down in Linden, Myrtlewood, if you were over in Selma, Clanton, Calera, Birmingham, Gadsden, Anniston, and basically Prattville, your threat is going to be 1 a.m. until 7 a.m. in the morning, okay? In the overnight hours and into the pre-dawn hours, unfortunately. And then if you were down there in the Marengo County, I'm sorry, in the Montgomery area, Auburn, Alexander City, Troy, and Eufaula, your time is going to be 5 a.m. until 10 a.m. And then we get all this stuff out of Alabama after 10 a.m. in the morning. So it does look like that the biggest threat of severe weather is going to be across Mississippi. However, I cannot rule out the possibility of some significant severe weather potential in Alabama. If you are watching up there near Hamilton, Fayette, basically if you're watching in Millport, if you're watching in Aliceville, Gordo, or Reform, and then also stretching back up here into Red Bay, Alabama, Russellville, Florence, and places like that, you guys are in the enhanced risk for the potential of a pretty significant severe weather potential later tonight. And guys, one more stop in the great state of Alabama, down here in the Black Belt of Alabama and getting down here into the coastal areas. Basically, if you were from Butler, Alabama, down to Chatham, and down into Leakesville, Mississippi, along the state line of Mississippi, down there in southwest Alabama, you guys have a threat for 4 p.m. until 1 a.m. For damaging winds upwards of 60, quarter-sized hail, and a tornado is possible. 2 rounds of severe weather is possible. Isolated severe storms may develop late this afternoon into the evening over southeast Mississippi and interior portions of southwest Alabama. And then a squall line will then move across the entire area overnight tonight and into Thursday morning. Now, if you are along the 43 corridor, which includes Grovehill, Thomasville, Jackson, Alabama, Kennesaw, Creola, Mobile, and Bay Minette, your time threat is going to be 10 p.m. this evening until 4 a.m. in the morning. And then, of course, over here in southeast Alabama, from Burnt Corn and Bruton up to Greenville and Delusia and places like that, it is going to be for your area between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. But I will tell you this, the further south and east that you go in the state of Alabama, your threat level decreases significantly, because the good news is this line of severe storms is moving in during the morning, the early morning and pre-dawn hours in the morning. And I do not know why it's doing that. So once again, like I said, your threat of severe weather is going to be significantly decreased as you move further south and east into Alabama overnight. So if you were basically in the areas of Montgomery and Greenville, Talladega, and Anniston, your threat is going to be less and less as you progress on into the state of Alabama. So that is the pretty much the significant severe weather potential, and that is going to be back over here towards the Memphis area and the great state of Mississippi. But for Alabama, the area of concern is going to be basically from the cities of Talladega to Anniston, basically down to the area of Wetumpka, Prattville, and then down into Monroeville, into the Mobile metro area, and then into the Loxley and Stapleton area, and points off to the north and to the west. And that is going to be the areas of concern as we move into this evening and overnight tonight. So, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, I will be here providing severe weather coverage for you as needed. And anytime that a severe weather or tornado warning is issued for Alabama, I will be on here providing severe weather coverage in the event that we do have a couple of tornadoes later this evening and overnight tonight. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, God bless.